Problem number 6. The following information is for Anakin Technology. Calculate the price of the stock. Well, we are going to use the constant growth formula. First step, find the dividend. Dividend is payout times earnings per share. Payout is 70% times earnings per share of $4. 0.7 times 4, do the math, is $2.80. That's my dividend. So price is equal to $2.80 divided by my rate, which is 0.09, minus growth. Growth is plowback times ROE. Plowback, if they're paying out 70%, their plowback is 30%, times an ROE of 0.10. If you do the math, that's going to give you a growth rate of 0.03. So plug that in for growth. My denominator is going to equal 0.06. So I have $2.80 divided by 0.06 equals a $46.67 stock price. What is the PE ratio? I'm going to take my stock price from here, price 46.67, divide that by the earnings per share of $4, and my PE ratio is 11.666. So 11.67 or 11.7 is fine. What is the dividend yield? My dividend that I found up here was $2.80. Divide that by the stock price. $2.80 divided by 46.67 equals 0.05999, which would be 0.06 or 6%. So to restate the definition of dividend yield, what it's saying is, look, if I buy this stock for $46.67 and they send me in year one a $2.80 dividend check, I've made a 6% return on my $46 investment just from the dividend check. Okay, what is the present value of growth opportunities? We found the stock price when the company is growing. What would the stock price be if the company wasn't growing? Okay, what would the dividend be if the company wasn't growing? Well, if you're not growing, it means you're not reinvesting in the business, right? You have no need to reinvest because you're not trying to grow. So the payout percentage with zero growth would be 100%, which means the dividend equals the entire earnings per share. So if I go to my constant growth formula, my dividend is going to be the full $4. I'm not paying anything, or I'm paying everything out as a dividend. I'm not plowing anything back into the company. I'm going to divide that by my rate of 0.09 minus growth. But if I'm not plowing back, I'm not growing, so growth is zero. So simply end up with the earnings per share divided by the rate. $4 divided by 0.09 equals 44.44. That's what people are paying, would pay for the stock if it wasn't growing. So what is the present value of growth opportunities? People are paying $46.67 with growth. Cut that off. There we go. $46.67 with growth. they're paying, or they would be willing to pay $44 without growth. What's the difference between those? Take 46.67 minus this. I've got 322. People are paying $2.23 for the growth potential. This is what they'd pay with no growth. This is what they pay with growth. So the present value of growth opportunities is $2.23. Is this stock a growth stock or an income stock? Provide support. Well, I got several things I can look at. First off, PE ratio is 11.7. That's low. That's well below the normal of 15 to 20 for a PE. It's low, which means stockholders aren't buying this stock with expectations of lots of future growth. Dividend yield is 6%. That's really high. To get a 6% return on investment from just the dividend, that's a really good return and way above the 2 to 3% normal dividend yield for the stock market. Lastly, now I have my present value of growth opportunities equals $2.23. Keep in mind that the stock price right now is $46.67. So out of this $46.67, investors are only paying $2.23 for the growth. $44.44 is based on what the company is already doing. So a very low present value of growth opportunities relative to the price of the stock would also indicate an income stock. So based on all of these measures, this is very much an income stock.